Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have you go talk to her. Yeah, that's it. There ain't nobody else outside.
No 6-foot rule, there's no maximum capacity rule here. They just pack everything in.
Isn't that crazy, guys? You see how they act for being in our own public space? They say I can't film, but it says courthouses.
Okay, I'm gonna have you wait out here because the lobby's full. Okay.
So this is a lobby, guys. Public accessible lobby. Yet they try to say this is a courthouse. It's private information and can't video. That's bullshit.
And then you're returning?
Yeah, I had a light in my pocket. I just throw it outside.
Okay, give me 1 second. The lobby's full.
SKS. That's right, we did. Thank you, Anthony Richardson. Appreciate it. Right, exactly. They can't produce it. They just tell you it's on their website. Go look for it. It's on the website. Go look for it. It's like if these rules are right there, they should be able to hand you a piece of paper saying, look, this is it right here. This is not it right here.
Anybody feeling sick at all today? All right, are you guys?
I'm waiting for Officer Reynolds.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're waiting for what?
Application Officer Reynolds.
Oh, okay. And then, are you guys together?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody feeling sick at all today?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna send you guys to this clipboard right here. And then, ma'am, what are you here for?
I'm here with my son Joshua.
Is he already in?
Exactly right, Kurt. You just said lobby. So it's a public lobby, but yet they say no.
Oh, so he's the one at the
I think he's looking for the code right here, guys. This guy right here.
I don't know. Do they need the paperwork?
That probably
He's
would be
looking for the
great.
code, or he's looking for some.
There we go. Sick at all today?
No.
And what are you here for?
Correction.
Okay, you talk to her right there. Hi, a first time juror?
No.
Return?
Yeah, first time. Yeah.
Oh, you're a first
Pay
time.
attention
Are you
to this
returning?
part.
Returning.
Shandu!
Okay, go ahead. And then you're gonna go to security.
Shandu! He went and printed out the papers. Look, they're all reading them.
I want you to pay
Right.
attention to this
You see him
part.
back there, the sergeant?
Can I see that? Hey, deputy, can I see that?
So where this goes on.
Don't take anything out of his hand.
Hi, anyone feeling sick at all today? No. Okay, I'm gonna have you guys talk to me with the clipboard.
Could I read that too? Let's see if they let us read it, guys. See if it says rules and regulations right there. See if it says anything about that.
No, it's not sick. Awesome. And then hold on, give me 1 second.
Lady Liberty, what's up? Low key. Appreciate you guys.
Alright, then you guys can go right here.
So all right. Yeah, you just have to sign it. So just sign here, and then also with that part. But this is let's say.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
It's going?
Let me give you this court order. This one right here. You want to read it? It just says you could record out here all day long, but you can't step inside the courthouse and record. All right? And
Okay, now I'm going to stop it right there because there's no point of playing anymore because this happens real quick. But pay attention to what this cop just told him. It's a court order that says he can film outside all day long, but he can't go inside the courthouse. Well, in the Constitution, okay, that would be a violation of the Constitution. That's a public building, and he has a right to public access to public lobbies, public hallways. He can't go in any area that's restricted as, offices, so on. But he can go through the courthouse in all public areas. Now that's actually the real truth, okay? And that's actually wrote into the Constitution. Your Bill of Rights and your Constitution used to mean something. But this country wasn't set up for that to stay in place. It never was. Most people don't understand that because they don't understand how far this goes back. They don't go back enough to, if you could go far enough back to the Great Fall of Rome and the beginning of America and really pay attention, you'll see what took place. Okay? Just like Rome was created, Rome was the superpower, Rome was brought down, America was created by the same entity. The system that was set up was to enslave you. The system that was set up was to furtherly, brainwash the public to get the public to where they need the public worldwide for these psychopaths that you people want to call conspiracy theory, which isn't. History has replayed itself over and over in people's faces. And they never learn. They keep repeating it. I said 10, 11 years ago, I told people they were replaying history. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they've been doing. Okay? And unfortunately, see, no court order is to trump the Constitution in any means or manner. You can't come into the Constitution and make an amendment and change something to your want to please you. See, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights was to be protected, that it could never be changed. And anybody that tried to do so would be treasonous and would be locked up. This is what protected what your illusion, this fantasy you've been having. But since way back fucking many years ago, or 100 years ago, they started violating the Constitution. They were violating that shortly after it was brought in. Because it was never really as you've been sold for it to be. And the real catch line here is, do you think these cops accidentally act the way they act? Or do you think that's just because of society, the way people are, and these cops get a badge and they get a power trip going on and an ego going on? Now, yes, there's some of the power tripping and ego going on. I agree with you on that, okay? But most people, these auditors, don't understand is these cops are trained to act the way they're acting. They're carefully selected in an interview at a panel of people sitting at a table. That part's no lie. When you become a cop and you've never been one, you will be scrutinized in your interview. And if you don't pass that interview, you don't become a cop. And they're not looking for people who recognize your Constitution and human rights. They're looking for people who have a bully mentality and who will willingly follow orders regardless of what they are. These are the people they select to be in law enforcement. This is no accident, and the training they have teaches them to be the way they're being. To hold their job, they have to be the way they're being. And of course, what keeps them doing it? Same thing that keeps everybody else doing it, money. Money's always been the issue. Money's always been the problem. People don't see it as the problem because they set up such a system where you would be constantly competing against each other and walking on top of each other. Money is nothing more than a man-made construct, and the value of it is what we, the human beings of this world, put on it. Gold, silver, jewelry, diamonds, rubies, doesn't matter. Still a man-made construct. If you're going to use it for a system for people to work and live on, then it needs to be dished out at the same amount regardless of what the trade is, and it needs to be dished out in a manner where everybody would have a good life. But when you create categories and you create levels and you create fucking all this BS that you've done in society, you create yourself a hierarchy, you create categories, and you create the man-made construct that this person can have this much and this trade gets this much, putting people in a higher status than somebody else, creating positions and categories and labels, putting people in these categories with no say-so, creating a gender role and telling people what it is to be a man and what their responsibilities are to be a man, and what it is to be a woman and what their responsibilities it is to be a woman. That's right, telling everybody everything that they ever learned, that they ever knew, shaping all of your belief systems. That's what they've been doing. That's exactly what they've been doing. They don't want you being an individual. They don't want you with the ability to have critical thinking skills. And they know you don't understand the system. And these auditors clearly don't understand the system. They're fighting a never-ending battle that has been deliberately created as history is replaying itself. And they're helping history to replay itself naively, not even knowing they are. They actually think they're doing a good cause and making people stand up for the Constitution. This is what they really believe. What they're really doing, though, however, is they're helping the system. You say, well, how are they helping the system? Because it's the more dissent that happens, which is still happening, okay? The more dissent that happens, the more divided we are, the more everything you see builds and builds and builds. Then you have some events take place. And then you have military merge with law enforcement right before your eyes. Think, no, that's not happening in America? Have you looked at your law enforcement recently in the last decade? Do you see them driving military equipment? Yes, you do. Law enforcement was given military equipment right under your nose. See, you don't understand. This is history replaying itself. They're setting you up to take this country down just like they did Great Rome. Military is going to be merged with law enforcement. See, we have don't defund the police, defund the cops, defund the cops, defund the police. See all the pitting against law enforcement. You think this is an accident? No. This is deliberately done. You've been set up. It was a setup all along. This is long-term plans. This stuff is deliberately being done. This mentality from police won't go away because they're being trained to be this way. It don't matter how many of you approach them, it ain't going to go away. You're not going to cure it because it's being deliberately done. And they're not going to quit their job because they want their tool, like you ain't going to quit your job because you want your tool, which is money. Because you need money to live. See, there's absolutely no excuse for any of this. This is fucking the failure to grow up by human beings. You have no room to tell your children to grow up because you failed at growing up yourself. And I don't care what people tell me. This is the reality. I don't live in a bubble over here. I don't live in a bubble. No, I live in reality. I recognize that if people would stop, think, and examine, they would see maybe a lot of things they don't want to see. And I recognize that if you stop being cowards, if you stop being old yeller. Sad thing is, old yeller was braver than you. You're more yellow than old yeller. I hate to say that to you, but the reality is it's a scary thing thinking history could be replaying itself and you're about to lose. You know, they pulled the wool over people's eyes really good. You know, I always knew there was something more to the word democracy than what we were being told. Because the United States has never been a democracy. It was always a republic. When you said, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, it was never into the democracy as which it stands. They want to tell you it's a democracy. You don't just hear it in your media, you hear it in the courtrooms. I heard it with my own eyes, my own ears, sitting in the courtroom for somebody else, and I'm hearing the judge, I'm hearing the fucking prosecutor, and they're using the word democracy. And I looked up democracy and Google searched it and shit, and it seems to have the same meaning as republic. But then when I dug deeper, guess what I found out? No, that's a whoosh, that's a lie. It don't have the same meaning as republic. No. You know what democracy stands for? Communism. Now let's go one step further. All 10 planks of communism have already been implemented into the United States right under your nose. By the very people you're trusting at the top. The reason you had a worldwide B10 thing going on, that's still going on, is because it was planned many years ago. It's because none of it's an accident. None of this, none of it. All of it is steps to bring this country down. And to give you your conspiracy theory that ain't a theory, it is a conspiracy because more than one person are working together to implement it and make it happen, and that is the definition of a conspiracy. There is no theory about it. Never has been a theory about it. All the evidence is in your face, and if you still can't see it by now, then I don't think there's any help for you, because I don't even think you can see your own hand if you put it in front of your own face then. Instead of being cowards, instead of turning your head and looking the other way, and I don't want to believe that, and I don't want to believe that, and not looking, and just comparing to what's really going on as you read the documentation. You can go to legit websites like United Nations, like NASA, like NSA, like CIA. You can go to these websites and you can pull up documentation off their websites to the public. You can go through and read Agenda 21 on United Nations, Agenda 2030. If you would start looking at these things and just comparing it to your society and look into what communism really is and compare it to your society, you'll see it. But if you're not going to do that, you won't see it. And if you don't do that, you won't see it. You will be the fool that will lead yourself to your own death. See, the reality is the man-made construct called money is the reason you're all here. You allowed a private entity to take control of it, and that private entity has abused the living hell out of it. That a private entity has created categories, labels, and levels of how much of it you can have. They have created categories, putting other people above other people. They've paid people to lie their ass off to you in your school system and on your media and your television set. They lied their ass off to you when they brought sports to you and told you it was for entertainment. They told you your TV was for entertainment. And the entire time it was never gave to you for entertainment reasons. It was gave to you to change your mindsets, to change your behaviors. Because back then it wasn't like it is now. Back then people had real care. Back then people looked out for each other. Back then you didn't have everybody attacking everybody. Back then people actually worked together and helped each other out. You didn't have all this division. Divide and conquer. To see these auditors, they're not doing no justice. They think they are, but they're at the lowest tier of tyranny that's going on. The very tool that everybody works for, money, owned by private entities who abuse the hell out of the system to use it to rob, to steal the entire planet away from everybody. All resources, all everything. And to claim they're gods and rule over the top of you. And you think I'm nuts. No, you're nuts for not looking. You're not too smart. You're not too bright. It's not me. You're not very bright. You don't have any critical thinking skills or time in your life to look and just sit back and compare and keep your mouth shut and see with your own eyes. You are too scared to do that. You're more yellow than old Yeller himself. That's right. You're more yellow than that. I mean, oh, yellow's brave compared to you. And that's just a name. The dog is definitely more brave than you'll ever be. Oh, I hate to say that to you, but, prove me wrong. I want you to, because I would be happy to be wrong. I really would. I'd be proud to be wrong. Now I just told you the real truth, and I don't think you're going to understand it. Understand this, history is replaying itself. The powers to be get their power from us, the people of this world. And only us, the people of this world, can stop what's going on, and the only way you would ever do that is to pull your head back out of your you-know-what and spray the blah-blah out of your damn mind and get your cleared head-on thinking cap on and start examining your behaviors. Start examining if your behaviors goes along with what you've been taught. Start thinking about other people. Well, why would I do that? That'd make me weak. No, it's going to get you dead if you don't. I don't call dying being strong. I don't call allowing history to replay itself and millions of people dying again being strong. And don't even go into this huffy puffy bullshit about global fucking warming and climate change, overpopulation, and running out resources. All hogwash, every last bit of it. All man-made, all man-done, all deliberately done by the people who own and run what you need to live, money. By the people responsible for setting up America to begin with intents of only allowing it to be this long and then bringing it down. Because they wanted to get what they were after, the resources, in their back pocket. Now, they own all of the electric, they own all the natural gas, they own the food, they own the medical system, they got your minds where they want them. And yeah, the takeover is happening right under your nose. And these guys, well, one day in the not too long future, all of your auditors that are running around YouTube will be being arrested every time they try to go out with a camera. You watch. They'll be being arrested and the punishment will become harsher. And suddenly the auditors will disappear. Something big will happen. Watch and see. And there'll be more civil unrest. And military will be merged with law enforcement. That's the reason they gave law enforcement military. Take a look at the Philippines. They have law enforcement in the Philippines, but law enforcement really is not the enforcer of the laws because they have military merged with law enforcement in the Philippines, and it's been that way for many years, and military all over the streets everywhere. That's law enforcement. You think that's not going to happen here in America? It's already begun. It's happening right in your face. You're not opening your eyes. Your Constitution, your Bill of Rights is going out the door. You won't have it no more. They gave you communism and used a name that stands for communism and lied to you and said it stood for a republic. None of you looked, and the ones that did found democracy to seem, oh, it has the same meaning as the republic. No, it don't. It don't at all, but they scrubbed that information. You have to dig deeper to find it. When you dig deeper, you find it. And when you do find it, you realize this is communism. And when you really pay attention, you find out they've already implemented all 10 steps. The Constitution is going bye-bye, guys. And if you people don't want to keep their freedom and want to keep what you got to start getting your heads out of you-know-what and paying attention to what's going on around you. Right now, what you're doing is just helping them to get what they need. More civil unrest. More irritation against law enforcement so that they can justify finishing the last step that's merging the military with the police. You're just helping them get what they want done. Once they got that done, then you auditors will be arrested every time you pull up the camera. You will watch and see. And the punishment will get stiffer and harder. Sure will. And that's only if you're alive, because this is a genocide program to begin with. They're trying to kill a lot of people. And they're dead serious. It's no lie. Anyhow, I got no more to say. I'm out of here.